Welcome to the Good Rookies podcast. My name is Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, y'all. And we are Good Rookies.
That's right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday. And guess what? It's episode 95.
95.
9 and a 5 and a time and a listen before I put some soca song right now. Guys, we're at 95 episodes, and y'all, I'm so excited for this guest because listen, when you speak to somebody and they turn all the way up and they manifest goals for him and they talk about where they want to be, and then you see them hit those same goals, brother. Please introduce who we got this week, brother.
Oh man, we have somebody who you could say he's shooting for the stars. Somebody that we've seen on the come up, and it's great to see that things are starting to materialize. I'm really excited for the culture segment where we can delve a little bit more into it, but let's welcome Warren Ward to the podcast today.
Man.
Warren.
Happy to be here. I've been here before at a different time. Things have changed, but obviously you two have not. We still, have a relationship, which is always good and always great. I saw you guys at the game the other day, so really happy to see that. You guys are there supporting. I just saw Nelly, you were damn near courtside, so it was really, really cool to see you guys there. But again, thanks for having me.
Thank you, guys. I am courtside and I'm extra. I'm hextra. Yo, everyone in my section, they're like, Janelle, your commentary, please keep talking because I'm Faheem. I'm with the shits, right?
Yeah,
if you know me, I am with the shits. I like to laugh.
Yeah.
I like to talk refs. I like to talk players. That's just me. So it was a good time. But yes, Warren, I'm like, oh, it's my boy up there doing this thing. So it's great. So yes, you were on here on a past episode, but I want y'all to do a little trivia. Can you guess which episode number you were on? So I'm going to go with Faheem first, so our guests can have more time to kind of guess. Go ahead, Faheem.
Okay, so I was originally thinking top 10. I know he's mad early. Like he's one of the so I'm going to throw a number. I'm going to go with episode 11.
Okay, 11. Cool. All right, Warren, you've had time to think about this now.
Honestly, I kind of want to say what Faheem said earlier. I want to say 3, but I something's telling me number 7. So
okay,
I'll go with 7.
Okay. Well, I will say this: our guess is much closer to the number, Faheem. So you're out of it. Number 8. Number 8.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Nice.
And we're at 95, bro. So
nice. That's
overdue.
That's well overdue.
Well overdue. So, but no, I can't wait to talk about you more and for the culture, and we'll get to that point right now. But I mean, what's your thoughts? And I want quick thoughts on so far the CEBL Scarborough Shooting Stars. Give me like a 1 or 2 minute thoughts on your experience thus far, and we'll dive into more of it, of course, for the culture and of course the coaching, because I'm seeing some coaches for him that are Black in the CEBL, which is kind of cool. So, what's your thoughts on what you're seeing right now?
Well, I'll answer the first question. I think the CEBL was birthed out of the NBL's inability to make a real professional league. And that's something that I'm very passionate about, is like when people talk about, like themselves playing pro, well, then if you're playing a professional sport or you're doing anything at a professional level, it needs to accommodate that. It needs to breathe and embody that. And I think the CEBL has done a really good job of maintaining that level of play and that standard set across the league. Like there is no bullshit in the league. Yes, players can be signed on the day and whatever, but that stuff will eventually, kind of teeter out. But in terms of like the actual play, the actual league, the refereeing, the type of basketball that's being played, it is enjoyable for fans. So I think they've done a good job of creating a basketball culture here. It's still not at the, it's still not at the apex of like, I think of where it could be, but it's on its way. And it's the best league outside of the Raptors that we have. I mean, the 905 is still good, But in terms of summertime basketball, there's no better way to continue getting better than actually playing the game. Like there's a lot of trainers and stuff. No, you should play the game. So the CEBL has kind of brought that to life, and you get paid. So I think that is something that is really, really cool. And then this is my first year actually being involved. Scarborough wanted me to come play, and I said, no, I don't play anymore. So I said, I'll do the broadcasting when I got asked. And that's my role. So I could have been on the floor. I just,
oh my gosh. Okay. That is
Yeah.
so interesting that you could have played. Okay. Let's talk about that more for the culture fee. I'm sorry. I got questions in my head.
Yeah,
but
no worries.
that's a good teaser for those who want to wait till the second half. Go ahead, Faheem.
I don't want to piggyback off only one thing that you mentioned was about the CEBL and it being in the summer. I'm going to go with, and I haven't really heard this narrative, but this is something I feel. This league has to be the best summer league on the planet. And here's why I'm saying this. There's a lot of players that this is their off season. When we talk about North America, we're talking about, the Drew League, popular summer league. The one in Seattle, I can't remember the name that Jamal Crawford, I think, is part of. That's a very, but when you look at the ones in the States, these leagues, that's for the summer in the States, I feel confident that if you took the top crop of the CBL and played that league down there, you're having more guys that chances are knocking on the door of getting in the league. So I think this league, in regards to summer league, this got to be one of the best summer leagues on the planet Earth, and we definitely got to celebrate it. So I'll end there with that.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think in terms of summer league, like this is probably the only, because there's the Dykeman in New York. Mm-hmm. There is a bunch of different tournaments and stuff like that in LA, but they're not professional leagues. They a lot of pros play there, but they don't play with the actual rules. They're not traveling across the country, right? And they're not practicing with the team, and they're not getting paid. So this is the only professional summer league, I think, on the planet. So it's really cool to be a part of. And the fact that it's happening here, the fact that they have a team in Scarborough now, which is really, really cool. I didn't really know how passionate people from Scarborough were about being from Scarborough until I moved here, but that's a different story.
Actually, I'm from Scarborough, so I will just say, yes, we are extremely passionate. I don't know what it is. It's we'll break it down for you, but Scarborough, it's for most of us who immigrated here, because I wasn't born in Canada, I was born in Trinidad. So when I came here, it's was my first home outside of my country. And a lot of us in Scarborough immigrated here or first generation. And we have huge Caribbean influence, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's a proud moment, because when I went to London, Ontario for school at Western, people thought, oh, Scarborough, isn't that place ghetto? And I'm like, no, it's nice in Scarborough. What are you talking about? What? No, Scarborough's not ghetto. I also felt safe in Scarborough. And so I'm just happy being a Scarborough gal, okay, seeing people come to Scarborough and seeing how great it is, how it's nice. It's not, I don't know what people thought Scarborough was but I'm just happy that people are celebrating it. And we're all Scarborough, the name Scarborough was on Bleacher Report. It's on Complex, it's everywhere. So
it was trending on Twitter.
Thank you. This is something I don't know. It's just great. Yeah. Being from Scarborough, growing up here is just a proud moment. And that's why Faheem knows this. When I saw we had a team, I fully emailed. I'm like, hey, I need to get tickets for the entire season. And they're like, this email's not working. I'm like, what? So I've been super hyper about this league.
Yeah, definitely day one.
Faheem's like, and prior to J. Cole, J. Cole is just an add-on for me. I don't even care about J. Cole. J. Cole, great, you're here. But anyway, I care about the team being here, because it's going to give a lot of these youth in Scarborough the chance to see professional basketball at a very low cost. So when I go to the game, I'm seeing all these kids, my heart swells, because I know these kids wow, you're seeing people from Scarborough coaching, playing in the league, working there. It's going to give these kids so much opportunity that they probably that I didn't see growing up. So I'm just such a proud Scarboroughnian, whatever you want to call us.
And that's exactly what it is. It gives these kids an opportunity, and when they get to that age, the league's going to be so much better.
Oh man!
Right?
Oh,
so
imagine! Ooh.
It's going to be huge, right? And then so that should tell them, I have many ways to now, because end of the day, everyone dreams of playing basketball, but you're playing so that you can get paid. So now you have a chance to go overseas, or whether you play in the league, whatever, and now you have a chance to come back home and still make money. And I think that's an amazing thing as well. And by that time, the salaries are, you know what I mean? Like they might even be bigger. So it's great. It's really good to see.
Something else that's really good to see is the NBA. They've just reached a record amount of Black coaches in the NBA with the most recent signing of Darvin Ham. There's 30 teams. Now we're at 15. So that means 50%, half of them are Black. It seems like we've kind of turned a corner, because if we had this conversation, I'm guessing even say a handful of years ago, it was
last year, Faheem. Last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
last
literally
year,
last year.
Last year.
2021.
2021. I think it was like 15% or 10% Black. So it's big turnaround.
So it's great that we're trending in this direction.
Right.
Warren, any thoughts in regards to Black coaches? First of all, I know it's systemic. A systemic problem
systemic
that we're dealing with, but anything with that?
No, of course. I mean, I definitely have to answer the question. So for starters, I am not of the notion of looking at things from a black and white perspective. I'm definitely happy that there are Black coaches in the NBA, but I think the Black coaches that are there are qualified to do the job. And I don't think that should be, it should be driven of the color. That doesn't matter to me. I'm definitely happy that there are Black coaches, but I think if there was Asian or Filipino or Latino or whoever else was qualified to do the job, then they should have it. I don't think throughout the history of the NBA, it's only been white coaches who should have been there. I think there should have been Black GMs, Black coaches, Black refs a long time ago, but they didn't get those opportunities. So now to see 15 Black coaches in the NBA, great. I just want them to do the best job possible, because end of the day, we're only going to get more Black coaches if they do a good job of being a coach, because it's not enough to just say, we're Black, so we should get coaching jobs because, the NBA is 85% Black or 90% Black. 95%. It's not enough. It's not enough to just say, like we dominate the game. We do, but have we dominated the GM position? Are we winning those awards at that level? Right? Are Black GMs winning those awards? Are we winning Coach of the Year? Are we winning those things? When we start doing that on a consistent basis, then we can go ahead and say, okay, well, for the last 10 years, it's like I don't mean to segue, but it's like, the MVP the last 3 or 4 years hasn't been an American player. It's been a European or a foreigner. We're going to see more foreign MVPs than we will American. That's going to happen as a trend going forward. So I want to see these Black coaches who get these positions not just relish in the fact that, I'm a Black coach in the NBA. No, dominate your shit, dominate your position, win Coach of the Year. You know what I mean? Win Executive of the Year. And now someone else behind you can go ahead and do the same thing.
Wow. Oh, I have to go after Ward after that amazing. Really? Okay. Let me attract at least. Okay. So first of all, everything you said, Warren, I agree. I just think that they're not getting the opportunity because they're being taken seriously. That's what I think has happened. I think before they're applying for those jobs, but we're taken seriously. Back in the day, Black coaches got jobs that no one wanted, and franchises that no one wanted to be at. Right. So now seeing someone like Udoka getting a coaching job for the Celtics that has pretty much 2 perennial stars on there, right, and a good roster, that's what I want to see, right? Seeing Black coaches paired with stars, not just paired with a team that, like, for example, the Rockets. My brother went to the Rockets thinking he had Harden. Harden said, I'm gonna wear a fat suit, and he dipped, right? So I feel like I want to see our coaches get in the right situation and the right environment to succeed, because we get the jobs, but sometimes the jobs aren't in the best circumstances. So to that point, I think a lot of the coaches, are 15 Black coaches, more than half of them are in good situations, right? So that's why I'm looking at the fact that they're actually winning franchises, winning teams, and they can do more. Like Monty will be there for a while. There's guys that are actually doing the work. So I'm happy for that. But I do think that just because we made it only 50%, I don't think we should be comfortable. I think when it comes to systemic issues, there's always work to be done. And I think there's people of color that are qualified to take stats or work in the front office or do things that needs to be done. So I just think that we can't just be comfortable and say, oh, now we got coaches. You guys should be okay. No. We got the people in the marketing department, people doing everything. Because I feel like people of color are qualified to do these jobs. Right. So at the end of the day, I'm happy. It's a great news. I remember last year we had a black, we had Coach Liana on here. She was the first Black woman to coach for the women's team for Saint Xavier back in East, I think East Coast, Scotia. And so she spoke about the struggles that Black coaches have in Canada, right? And so I'm just happy that I'm seeing coaches. Even yesterday, we saw the Black coach for Newfoundland. Our coach is Black in Scarborough. So I just want to see our guys who are qualified to get the job, not only because they're Black, but because they can actually do it, right? So I'm just happy. It's a proud moment, but the work ain't done. I'm not satisfied. I'm not comfortable. So I'll land there for him.
And lastly I got with this is, I'm not saying about it being systemic. It reminds me a lot of the NFL, say 30 years ago. So Doug Williams, he was the first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins. Before that, you had Warren Moon, who was, a great collegiate player. He actually had to come to the CFL and play quarterback position because he couldn't get a job in the NFL.
That's where I got my name from.
Oh, snap.
Really?
Yeah. That's my dad's favorite player. Yeah, that's where I got my name from. Yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
No.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I know that story like the back of my hand. I was told that since I was a kid. He won all them Grey Cups here, went to the NFL at 28 years old.
Right.
Because he was Black. Yeah.
Preach. Okay. So yeah. So to that point, like think about it. Black person was qualified and it was the system that held them down. Right. And now here we are, present day, 2022. And I don't know what the number, Nelly J, you might know more than me, but there's a lot more starting Black quarterbacks in the NFL now. It's more commonplace now. And that also has to do with the fact that not just the position, but the position of the quarterback is usually the heady, the smarter. You know what I'm saying? It's a brainy position, right? And that's the system that held us back because they didn't feel that we had the head smarts to actually handle it. So I'm tying that with with the NBA is the fact that head coaching jobs, they're seen as the head. You got to be a smart coach. You know what I'm saying? A smart person. And that's part of I think the systemic part about this that we're overcoming now, that we're seeing Black people on the sidelines and it's, we're making strides in a position that's normally seen for that we weren't smart enough to actually handle. But when I say that, I just want to land with this real quick. People forget Bill Russell. He was a player and a coach in his for 3 years with the Celtics. And, I think he's a player coach for 3 years. I think he won a championship for 2 or 3 of those years. So think about this. He was a player coach during the civil rights movement and winning championships in a position that the system held him back, but it didn't, I guess him being qualified for the position didn't hold him back. So it's great to see here we are now 2022 where we're at 50%. I'm not sure what the number has to be where you say don't get comfortable. I'm not sure what that number has to be. Like, do we get to 80% and say, okay, we're good? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that 100% of the coaches should be Black. But, I don't think 50 is the number either. So somewhere in between.
To me, comfortable doesn't mean that we don't celebrate. Comfortable means that the work's not done, meaning that there's still systemic issues in the NBA front offices and the WNBA and coaching in general. Like, it's not just the NBA we should look at to measure how much we grow. It's in every level of the game. And that's something that, we struggle in Canada. Big up Coach Liana and the Black Canadian Coach Association. They do a lot of great work, combining. But I just think to Warren's point, if you're qualified, you should get the job. I should not be considered because I'm Black. I should be considered because I have the qualifications to do the job. And I think that's where we should be to lead as a culture, right? Being Black should not be why I get hired. You know what I mean? So
definitely. So yeah, well, shout out to all the Black coaches out there, and it's going to be inspiring for younger coaches coming up also to see that. And as you mentioned earlier about the CEBL, having Black coaches, giving those opportunities also. So that's a great look. But you want to know,
Coach Funda, Coach Sheldon Funda from Hamilton, big up to himself.
Honey Badgers.
Honey Badgers.
You want to know someone else I want to big up? Nelly J, let's go to For the Culture.
For the culture. We like to highlight individuals for the culture. And today we get to highlight a former professional basketball player. I think he has the second most points scored at Ottawa University. This man played overseas, played for Team Canada, played in the NBL, does broadcasting now, did the NBA playoffs. Like, this brother is everywhere. And now he's covering for the CEBL all the Scarborough shooting star game. Please give it up for Warren Ward.
Yeah.
Dope. So
So
dope.
Warren, of course. Yeah. So like, walk us through, because I think a lot of times, you know, folks forget that we have so much homegrown talent, right? And I don't think we talk about it enough. So walk us through your journey, because, you know, you played for University of Ottawa. What was that like? And then deciding to enter the draft, not make it to the draft, but still saying, you know what, I love this game so much, I have to still pursue it. And you played on multiple teams across the world and in this Canada. So walk us through that journey of that for us.
Well, where to start? My goodness. So yeah, I go to Ottawa U, and I had a standout career there, but I also worked really hard at basketball. Like, I wasn't always very good. I wasn't always this good with my words per se. Like, all this stuff took a long time for me to develop. Like I wasn't always charismatic, or like, I used to stutter quite a bit growing up. I actually went to broadcasting school. So I did all of that, and I'll start with Ottawa U though. So I did my 5 years there, tore my ACL in university. So I've also dealt with my fair share of injury. Not many people, I think everyone knows that now, but if you asked me a while back, then maybe not everyone does. So I tore my ACL in university my 4th year, which would have been my draft year, but I'm from London, Ontario. So not many people even make it to play pro, let alone, you know what I mean, like, go to university. So I wasn't even thinking about making it to the NBA. I just wanted to make money playing basketball. And I think there's a huge difference. Like, that's where my mind was, like, just make it to play pro, because you're still like 2% of the whole, you know what I mean, the whole world. So let me just do that, right? Let me just get like a 6-figure contract doing that. So ended up happening that I healed really, really quickly, came back from that injury, I went to Las Vegas, got invited to Impact. Within 4 days, I went from being a second-team All-Canadian to a potential, like, legitimate draft pick. I wrote my name in the NBA draft, 3rd Canadian to ever do that in the history of our country, who played in the CIS. So really, really proud moment. And like, last week I did like an interview, and it kind of just hit me then. You know, I was like, man, shit, that's pretty cool. Like, how many, you know, that, like, don't ever get full of yourself, but at the same time, if you don't celebrate yourself, who will, right? So I was just like, damn, like, man, what a cool journey to say that you did that. Like, because there's players way better than me who never got that opportunity, players way worse who have done probably more. So it somehow landed on me. You know what I mean? Somehow, some way, I was the one chosen to do that. It may not be a big accomplishment to other people, but it is to me. So then I got hit with more adversity. I also tore my Achilles 2 years later playing overseas.
Same.
No, I was ACL first, so right knee, then my Achilles tendon, and then I made it back from that. I was dunking in 4 months from that injury.
Guys,
so
he's even Kevin Durant stuff. He's doing Kevin Durant stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
So another blessing that I've had is that I've been able to heal really, really fast, and I think, like, that's my actual, like, power, is that this stuff will happen to me, and most people don't. Like, I don't wear no braces to play now. Like, most people who see me play never think I even had an injury, but right knee, left Achilles, and I finally get my chance to go overseas. I'm about to get bought out of my contract in Spain. January 28, 2018, I'm doing a Euro step. I get clipped. My other knee, my left knee goes, and that's when I said, okay, cool. So I just stopped. I walked off the court. It was halftime of the game, basically. 2 minutes before halftime, I go to the locker room and I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. And I knew right then and there it was it. My agent called me and told me that day that the team was ready to buy me out of my contract so I can go to another league. So it just so happened that that's how the story kind of ended for me. And then I had to remove my identity. So I think a lot of athletes don't take the time to do that. But I still identify with basketball, but it's not like ball is life, but life is not ball anymore. You know what I mean when I say that? Like, I'm still in it, but I'm not in it. Like I don't identify with it. Like I don't watch people play and get jealous and be like, man, you know, like should have been me. Like, nah, bro, go do your thing. I'm good. I've run up and down enough. I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just had to remove that. I had to remove the part of my ego and like leave that person behind and figure out like, okay, who am I going to be outside of that? And that's where I kind of found a home in media. But even then, like I had, you know, I worked for the Raptors 905. I'm gonna tell you this story. I worked for the 905 for a season, and there was an incident that I was removed from my position there without any fair warning. I won't say names, but when I see those people, they feel me now. I'll tell you that when I see those people in real life, because that's the kind of person I am. I don't really want to go on internet and say too much, but when I see you, we're gonna have a conversation. So
it's on site.
Yeah, pretty much. So that ended up happening where I was removed, and I thought it was very unfair and blatantly disrespectful. So removed from the 905, and then for 2 years, if it wasn't for Andrew Miller, actually, I wouldn't even have had the podcast to stay involved with media. And that's when I met you guys. Then I went to school for it. So I went to the College of Sport Media and I studied broadcasting because I said, you know, I see myself in this space. I can not only talk about basketball, but I also want to talk about social issues. I want to talk about how the perception of media, the perception of Black people in media is why we are stuck. It's not our accomplishments. It's not our gifts. It's the fact that we spend more money on designer clothes than anybody else in the world. And even though those people don't do anything for us, we are always trying to show our wealth. And I think that's a media condition. So outside of basketball, I have other aspirations. So I said, okay, well, let me divulge into this and learn how to speak on camera properly instead of just, you know, trying to figure it out. Because I went from playing to doing that right away. So I took the time, took a step backwards to go forward. And then, again, some of the right people put my name forward for some positions. And I got another opportunity to work at the 905, which then led to TSN, which then led to the Raptors, which then now has me here. So my objective now is just to be an overall, one of the biggest, like I want to be one of the bigger, I guess, media personalities in this city. That's my objective. Not only talking about basketball, but some of the other things that are extremely passionate, because I feel like I can do both.
Wow. First of all, y'all, if y'all did not get inspired from that story, no, for real, because I think sometimes people are so afraid to start over. They're so afraid to say, maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I need to have someone teach me. Maybe I need to learn or put my money in my mouth is invest in a craft to excel at it. And I think you did it properly, right? Some folks can jump in the water and learn how to swim. And some folks say, you know what? I'm going to pay for the instructor to teach me how I should do it and then do it my way. I just feel like every story matters. And I think just the way that you've dealt with your injuries, knowing like, you know what, my spirit has to move on from this experience. Because I think a lot of athletes, they think they are the sport. And I think you're saying, I love basketball, but I'm going to use that to get to what I actually want to do with my life. And I think some athletes struggle with understanding what to do next. So that's great that you kind of knew what you wanted to do. And despite, you know, what you went through as a child, stuttering. I stuttered a lot when I was a kid. My brother was always like, Janelle, you used to stutter so much. And I'm like, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but
I can relate to that.
Right?
Yeah.
Used to, right? Not anymore. So
yeah, exactly. But it's something that I think people don't understand, that like speech impediments, those things can make you not want to pursue things on media or podcasting. But you're like, regardless, I'm going to do what my heart desires, and you find a way. So I think it's incredible. When it came to moving from playing the game to going into broadcasting, did you have anyone tell you, like, question you your decision as to why you should do it, or were there anyone kind of doubting you? And if there were people doubting you, how did you overcome that? You know what I mean?
I think I've had people doubt me, but secretly. They'll never tell me.
Oh, okay.
I think I've had a lot of that in my time. I think I hope my name rings synonymous with good things, but I'm not there at every conversation. So I would assume that, I mean, everyone wants you to do well, right? But just not better than them. So I'm assuming that people aren't always going to be supportive of whatever it is that I'm doing. And I overcome that because I'm my own worst enemy. So whatever they're saying, I probably said worse, right? I mean, I've had 3 major surgeries, and I've had to deal with my own mind, trying to combat telling myself I should quit, or I'm not good enough, or I expect more of myself. Even some of the tattoos I have are just constant reminders of that. So like, I don't expect anyone to be as hard as on me. And then at the same time, part of me is just like, people don't really care. So it's like, it's a little, you know what I mean? It's a little bit of both. But I've always overcome that by just understanding that I'm not going to be here long enough to really care. What I need to care about is making sure that I'm leaving some sort of impact. Like, I'm not going to be here on the planet Earth long enough for me to really give a shit about what someone else is saying. So I overcome that by just saying, like, let's just go. Like, we got things we're trying to do. Let's just do that, because at the end of the day, whatever they're saying probably don't even matter. So that's how I overcome it. I don't, this may sound weird, but I don't really think time can be wasted because it doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
You're here in a finite time. Like, everyone begins and ends. So anything in between that don't really belong to you. So I don't think I can waste that. I don't want to sit around thinking about whatever, what someone else
is doing.
Exactly.
So essentially, like, you are so focused on what you got to do that if someone is or not, like, it doesn't really matter because you're so focused on your goal. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And I don't mean like to sound like I don't care about what other people think, because I also think everything we do in life, we are seeking validation. So either from yourself or from other people. Like, the kid who's ranked number 1 in basketball, you can watch that person play and that everyone thinks, right, just by the way that person plays, that they're good. The kid who's ranked 99, why are those kids always play with, like, a chip on their shoulder? Because no one thinks that they're good. There's a reason for that. It's because we are always seeking validation. So I try and not let myself get too caught up in being 99 or number 1, and try and float somewhere in the middle. So I don't think about either or.
Nice. So it actually makes me think of, there's a saying, and actually I do try and follow this, focus on what you can control. Like, sometimes you can't, there's so much happening outside of your realm that, for you to even put too much energy toward it is drawing you away from where you need to be thinking about and what you need to do. Right. So I'm with you on that. So I kind of have a train of thought that goes like, I think of broadcasting, and I do think that we're at a situation right now where it's kind of like the changing of the guard. We just earlier were discussing about, Black people in coaching in the NBA, right?
Yep.
In regards to media, and I'm going to speak to Canadian media in particular, basketball is really obviously growing and really trying to be more, have a lot more inclusion. We've had the all-women, for instance, the all-women broadcast, right?
Yeah.
So that's just where we're at right now. You, as you mentioned, you played, and then after you played, you actually went and studied the craft of broadcasting, right?
Yeah.
But I would still say, as much as you put the time in, you're you're new to this, and I mean, like, fairly new.
No,
right?
no, that's fair. You don't have to correct yourself. That's
okay.
Yeah.
So, you're new. There's a lot of people who, for instance, calling, Raptor games, for instance, who have been in the game for a long time.
Yep.
And much like we're saying with coaches and players being reflective of coaching, I still think the same thing needs to happen in Canadian media, where we have players, and I think we need to have a reflection of that behind the mic also.
Yeah.
And with this, I guess, changing the guards of the people who are, not saying any names, but the established people out there who have made a name in that cycle. There's people, as soon as they start to maybe go on to their next venture, there's people have to fill that gap. And there's certain names that I think should be added to the top of that list. And from the work that you've put in, I'm nominating you as one of the ones that like, that's
TSN
why when I was,
fix up, Sportsnet fix up.
yeah, when I was saying,
that.
and that's what I was saying, like, fairly new. You're definitely on the come up, but you've put in the work. Your resume is growing. I would say by the season, you know, like if you look at what you've done this year to last, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Anybody, I'm just throwing this out now. If you're not familiar with Warren Ward, get familiar, you know, because he's definitely of that next crop. I also want to throw some shout outs also though. You know, Akil Augustine is also somebody who's been in the game. You know, just Donovan Bennett. I know he doesn't call games because I know the difference between calling games and actually.
He's more in the CFL, like Donovan. Like he covers basketball, but like he played football too.
Right. Well, he covered.
He does like what I want to do next, which is sitting down one-on-one and speaking to people like this.
Yeah.
And getting the nitty-gritty. And I think the questions that are asked aren't in depth enough, and you don't really get to. We hear the same redundant stuff over and over again, if I'm going to be frank. So which no one really cares about anymore. I think we're past the generic nonsense. We actually want to get some tea every now and then, like you know what I mean, like that's kind of
with a shot of Henny, with a shot of Henny.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? With a shot of Henny and our tea still.
Right. Let me get some of that going on. So I think that would be an ideal situation, and you know, Faheem, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think it'd be something that I'm looking forward to. You know, one of the people I look at, you know, Michael Strahan, he does a little bit of everything, and I think that's what I want to do.
You know,
that's why
I can see you doing that.
Yeah.
Like you have the person, Michael Strahan be on the white people show, but he's on every show. Like he does so much. Like he does so much. And so I mean, maybe we can see you on breakfast television.
Right.
Exactly. You know, like you know what I'm saying? But
you know,
honestly, Warren,
Nelly, I want to have my own show.
Exactly.
Like
I'm gonna ask you, like, do you want to produce? Like produce? Okay, good. Because I
don't know about produce, but I do.
But do you want to?
I want to use
a creator,
television.
I guess? Okay.
Yeah, as a vehicle to reach the masses, like because we consume more media than we do food. We're always in our phones. Like I have two phones, so we're always in our phone.
Fancy thing.
You know what I mean? My mom was watching Oprah, The View. One of the ideas I had, even I'd say it like there's a View for women. There's always these morning shows but there's nothing for men. So when do men ever talk about their own perspective of even just, you know, talking about money, talking about going out, like even places where they go, talking about traveling, talking about dealing with the pressures and dealing with being a man in today's society. Where is that? Is there a View for us, Faheem? No. Those shows are catered. So little things like that are things that I would be like, yo, that'd be cool to fill the void and then go broadcast the game at night. Because my perspective of basketball is never going to change. Like I honestly feel as though, and this may sound a little harsh, but I really feel like the people that have been doing broadcasting, people that are talking about basketball at that level never played. And I found it to be so interesting that someone is giving their opinion on a public platform about something that they can't do.
Right.
And then if I'm a listener, I'm thinking that this person is a quote unquote expert. So whatever they're saying must be valid, or else they wouldn't have the platform.
So question for you, Warren, question for you there. Don't you think though, because we have friends who work behind the scenes on these platforms, and some of these people, they're given what to say, right? So even though, so to your point, I agree. I think it has to be a balance. I think there has to be people like in the States, what they do, they have like a past athlete along with a broadcaster, right? But to your point, what if someone is an athlete but can broadcast? Like he has the skill set like yourself to call the games and do what needs to be done. So for some reason, it's been like they've been calling us the color commentary. If you're a black person calling a game, and it's like, why is he a color commentary? Why can't he be a broadcast? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying
the color comment. I know. So,
I'm just saying no. Do you know why? Because I feel like that name bothers me. Like I'd rather you call something else. The color commentary. I'm like, well, why is it color commentary? Because it's colorful comments. I get it.
Someone put that on my Instagram story one day. She was like, why do they call call you, is it because you're black? I was like,
No, it's not because you're black, but I hate that term.
It is. The color commentary is that, like, there's a play-by-play and there's a color commentary. Because the color, you are supposed to be vibrant. You are supposed to paint the picture of the game.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. No, I get that. But I feel like
you're supposed to be Picasso with a brush. And I don't think anybody who has not played at a significant enough level that to understand that, okay, you can be critical, but you need to know when to be critical. You need to know what to say in those situations. Because, like I said, no one starts off playing a sport or doing media to be judged eventually, even though that's how you make money. It's like any profession, you need to be able to take judgment. It's weird, but that's our society. So, to your point, Nelly, being a color commentator,
I just hate that term.
I know, me too.
Do you know why? Because do you know why? Because it's kind of like how Faheem, when we had Aaron Manswell, he's a composer, and we talked about producers versus composers, and we're like, it's the same thing,
right?
If you could,
it's not.
Well, to his point, he was saying that a producer in the music industry is someone that actually creates like the orchestra, the music. So in hip hop, if I create the beat or I'm whatever, I'm called the producer. Like, for example, like Kanye has produced many songs, but he's a composer. He's an artist. Like, he actually finds the beats. He creates these. He creates these. He brings in different sounds and creates magic. Right. So even though so to Aaron's point, he said that composing should be considered similar to producing a song because he's produced songs for like R&B artists like Daniel whatever, and he's composed. So my thing is that I just think that just because you're color commentary, you still have skill sets that you can broadcast. I don't think that you should be pigeonholed in a commentary role. If you can so I think in our society, if you're a color commentary, that's it. You're pigeonholed in that term, and you can never go to a play-by-play. It's never like, you know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that for me, I think that if you can paint Picasso, I'm sure you can also do play-by-play. I don't think it should only be
for
that.
Sure. For
and
sure.
that's
to
it.
Me personally, I do not want to do play-by-play. I think the guys who do that right now, shout out to Paul Jones, shout out to, Rod Black, they have mastered that.
Yes. It's hard to do that stuff. It's hard as hell.
And to be able to do it emphatically and know, to change the octave in your voice, that is a skill set they have. The one I know I have is that I can break down a game and I can make it relatable to an average person or someone who believes that they're at my level of seeing basketball, right? So that is my skill. I want to stay on that side.
Right?
I just want to I want to paint the pictures. That's it. Right. Even though the name is terrible, I still want to paint the pictures. So
let's call you like play, I don't know, commentary play. No, I'll find a term. I'll email you.
You can call me a painter.
I'm gonna call him Basketball Picasso. You know why? Because it's so funny because we had Kevin Weeks and he was the first Black person to ever be a color commentary in NHL, and he was like, you know what I mean? And that
he was a goalkeeper.
Yes,
right. You got it right.
Yes. He's also from Scarborough. He's also from Scarborough.
Oh, shout out to him.
Yeah. So we had him. So he's iconic. He's working with ESPN now. But that's why I just feel like, the term just bothers me. I know what it meant. I just hate the term color because all the Black guys doing color commentary.
I know.
Anyway, sorry.
It's true. It's very true.
I literally have there's some questions I had, less mental notes that say, okay, but everything I felt like I wanted to ask Warren, he's in some way covered, whether it was.
Not for me. I have a question for him.
Go ahead, please. Okay. By all means.
I want you to name me who was the most influential. See, you mentioned Strahan, right? But was he a big influence for you to become a broadcaster? Was there anyone else, like an athlete that turned broadcaster TV that you were like, I want to be that guy in basketball?
No, I don't really have anyone who I've looked at to be like, I want to go and like become a TV personality type of thing. I figured like I'm still making money in basketball. I haven't played in 4 years and yet I'm still making money in ball. So I was like, nah, I definitely have people that I want to be able to say that I speak well. Like I want to be able to be a master of conversation, master of my words. And I look at people like that. I look at Malcolm X who, didn't go to university. He's less educated than I am, yet he could command the whole room. So I'm always looking at ways to improve my vocabulary, improve my word choice, my cadence, my speed, even my pauses, right? Like just little things like that, always looking to improve conversation to ensure that I can captivate those in front of me. I say I'm more of a student of that than I am somebody. I think the other person that probably inspires me the most is just my dad. My father is a big inspiration to me. So but Strahan overall would probably be the person that I think most athletes, if you want to work in television, I don't think there's a better model than him, because he has done it all. And I love that about him. He's done it all. He hasn't pigeonholed himself. You know what I mean? Similarly, you know what I mean? Like he could have easily stopped at doing the NFL games, right, Nelly? Like he could have easily done that, but instead, nah, got into Good Morning America. He's doing, I don't even know what else he does. He does a whole bunch of
Dancing
stuff.
with the Stars. I think he's done a whole bunch of things. He's done a whole bunch of things, man.
I mean, you're not going to see me dancing with I'm not going to be on no Dancing on the Stars.
Or Dancing with the Stars. You should do it.
Yeah, I'm good. But I definitely think it's cool to like just be involved in a little bit of everything and, put your ideas out there in the world. And I don't think there's a better medium to go through than in television.
Let me throw this one last question to you before we transition out of For the Culture. So you doing color, it's usually a two-man tandem, right? So it's color and there's on air, right? Someone's calling the game. You've made it clear that you'd rather do color. Is there someone, because you've actually quickly go through some of your experience, like people who've run on air that you've done with, that you've paired with. And then just give me maybe something, the biggest thing that you've learned, because you need to have, when you have two people, they need to work together in unison as one, right?
Yes, yes.
So definitely, just give me a list of some people that you've done side by side with, and then something that you've learned, the thing that you learned most from them. Then we transition out.
Well, I've worked with 4 people thus far. Gareth Wheeler was the first, Matt Cullen this past year, Paul Jones, and Rod Black. And out of all of those, Rod has the most experience. The one that I have me and Rod only done 2 games. So I can't put him in there, even though we have really good chemistry. Matt Cullen, same thing. Me and Gareth, he was the first person I worked with, so not as much. But me and Paul, because Paul was my teacher. So me and Paul have been working together for almost 8-9 months before we called games together. So not on air, but we called games together. So I would say Paul. And one of the major things he taught me, and one of the things that you guys could now pay attention to, is so tomorrow's game, when the Celtics are playing, when the broadcaster, and this is something you can know a good broadcaster just by this, when the ball is going from foul line to foul line, it's my time to talk about the play that just happened, whatever it was. When the ball now goes into action, so when someone comes up the floor and they're actually doing something with the basketball, trying to score, right? That is the play-by-play time to speak. Good broadcasters understand that. So an analyst's job is to because the brain can't focus on what's currently happening and what was just happening prior to. So you need to be concise. So I literally have about 15, maybe 8 seconds to convey what just happened from foul line to foul line. And that's probably the number one thing Paul taught me. And that stuck. Never forgot that. So when you listen to me speak, I will literally, if I go past when the play is happening, then in my mind, I'm like, I went too far, and I'll never, that it happens because, you want to get everything out, but that is usually where you'd want to stop and start.
Right.
So, right.
It feels a lot like a tweet. In the tweet, you have like 70 characters. It's very condensed, and you don't need, time is limited. Exactly. So I got you.
It's a science. Oh my gosh.
Watch tomorrow's Analyst and see when they're speaking. See when they'll speak when the play is dead. They'll speak from literally foul line to foul line. When there's nothing happening, then I talk about what just happened, because then your brain is not paying attention to what's happening because nothing is. But as soon as an action starts, you have to shut up.
That's true.
So, wow.
Yeah.
See, y'all, listen, people at home think
it's a science. No,
like people at home don't understand like the breakdown of that. So thank you for sharing like how it works. I don't think like people even noticed it. You know what I mean?
No, and I didn't notice it until he said it, and then I started paying attention to it, and I said, "Oh shit! Like that's what's what they do. Like that's the science. That's how you can coexist with someone else, because you need to know when to start to stop speaking."
Right.
Right.
And that's where getting reps in matters. Like, I think the more you work with somebody, the more chemistry and the more you get a feel and that understanding. Right. So when you have broadcasts, and I'm definitely going to pay attention to that, but I'm pretty sure when you have, like the standard, I can't remember his name. Is it Mike Breen? Is he still doing it, or whoever's doing it?
Mike Breen. Yeah.
He's
your play-by-play.
Right. And then whoever his like
Mark Jackson,
and yeah. So those guys, the chemistry, I'm pretty sure that's why they would put them together, not just because they're names, but they've done it. They probably have a great chemistry. So I appreciate you laying that out, because I'm gonna keep an eye on that for sure.
And I'm thinking that, and I know why Charles Barkley and Shaq can't do color commentary. They will not be professional.
No, Shaq's voice is too deep, and he can't speak fast enough.
Right? Yeah.
See what happened?
Yeah.
Did you guys see
Charles
what happened?
Charles Barkley just doesn't know you don't know what he's gonna say. Like you know that meme when he's like Krispy Kreme donut. Tim Hortons. You know what he said? Kevin Hart did an imitation of Charles Barkley. He's like, yeah, you don't know what he's gonna say. So,
I feel like Charles Barkley would be like, "Oh my God, that was the dumbest play I've seen forever. That play was so bad." Like, and Shaq would be like,
"Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
let me tell you something. Krispy Kreme, Tim Hortons. I went to golf and I played a line."
Oh my gosh, I think Shaq would be like, "Oh my God, that was a terrible play." Terrible play. Hello, terrible play. And the guy would like, anything else you want to say, Picasso? Like, Shaq
just they're good at halftime, and exactly. But those guys are like entertaining. You know, Shaq and Chuck are very entertaining. Kenny is the brain of that show.
And Ernie he's the anchor.
Ernie, he just brings it all together.
Right.
Ernie tries to kind of regulate people.
Yeah.
He regulates the people down.
Right.
Right. Exactly. But you need that. You need that one guy there. And I love Ernie. I think Ernie's great. But Breen as a play-by-play, phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Definitely. So Warren, that's for the culture.
And we're gonna have his information. We're gonna have his details. Please follow. Please support. Especially those that are in the media, that's a person of color. It's important that we support them, because they go through a lot that we don't see, that he can't talk about right now on air. So let's just send positive vibes to Warren, and we'll have all the information, Instagram, you name it, YouTube, everything on here. So
most definitely. And lastly, let's go to That's Absurd.
That's Absurd. Faheem, bro, what was absurd this week? What was absurd?
Fat Joe was on his IG Live, and he spoke about J. Cole in the CEBL and Drake showing support to J. Cole.
Yeah.
But he was a little skeptical that J. Cole may be able to play, and compared J. Cole's playing in the CEBL much to Master P playing at the Rucker. And anyone knows about Master P playing at the Rucker. He did not have a great showing, especially at the time when he tried to get in the league, when he was playing stint with the Raptors and the Hornets.
Yeah.
The reason why I have to lay this out is him being skeptical of J. Cole. Absurd.
Like, has he even watched the game?
No, this was before. I think it was after the first game.
So, but my thing, Fat Joe's talking on things, to Warren's point, if you're not watching the game, how are you commenting on someone's ability? I don't know. I think it's absurd, to be honest. As a fellow rapper, you should be looking at, I'm happy that he's trying a thing. Why are you? I don't know. I think it's just weird. How about you, Warren?
I'm with you. I think the only thing not the only thing. I think it's absurd just because I don't think J. Cole's intention here, and I get to ask this all the time. People ask me all the time about J. Cole. I don't think J. Cole is here to like go score 40 or try and go score 25. Like, I don't think he's trying to show out against guys who do this for a living. Like, he's not a basketball player. He's a rapper, one of the best rappers in the world, a better rapper than Fat Joe's ever been in his life, first of all. Okay. So that's just off the cuff, number one. Two, he's not out of place. Like, I practiced with the team, so I could actually attest to that. He's not out of place. Is he a pro? Does he know the game inside and out? Can he do everything that like someone like myself, or not even myself, that, you know what I mean, someone like a Jalen, you know what I mean, like a Jalen Harris can do, or Xavier Rattan-Mays? No, he can't do those things. He doesn't do this for a living. But the fact that he said to himself, I have something I want to do. I want to play ball somewhere in the summertime. Like, I want to go play professional basketball at some level. I want to live another dream other than just being a rapper. And the fact that he decided to come do that in Canada, and the fact that, yeah, last game, like, people look at his 2 threes that he hit and it's like, oh, you know, he had 6 points. No, first of all, when I was calling the game, I was like, man, look at how hard J. Cole ran to the damn corner.
Thank you.
To get people open, to you know what I mean, to space the floor. The wings that are pros never ran that hard. He just came in the game off the bench, sprinted to the corner, and then got rewarded with a pass and was able to knock down 2 threes from almost the same spot. One was a pump fake, which takes some sort of, you know what I mean, spatial awareness and recognition.
Yeah, but also,
and then to shoot off the dribble. So I was a little confused as to like, okay, yeah, he's not a pro, but he's not out of place. You know what I mean? He's not like, he's still able to do professional level things. And I think to anyone out there, he's 37 years old, still chasing a dream of his. Like, his dream was to be a pro baller. He played in Africa, didn't have to do that. Now he's here in Canada. Hats off. Hats off. That's
period. And to your point, it's my thing, right? Like, for Fat Joe to say, I'm not convinced that he can hoop. Fat Joe, what do you know about hooping? And what measurement?
Can I though? Okay, I'll let you finish.
But my thing is that for him to say that he's not convinced that he can hoop, I just think that, why don't you watch him play before you say something? Like me saying, hey, I don't think he can hoop. Fat Joe, did you watch a full game? And if you did, what were your thoughts on it? And to Warren's point, like, he didn't come here to be Michael Jordan. He didn't come here to be a starter. He came to support. And when I've watched him live, I think he works very hard on the court. He's not lazy at all. No. Right. No. And if
he tries his hardest,
his effort is 110%.
When's the last time Fat Joe has ever sprinted?
And also, when I spoke with the coach of Scarborough Shooting Stars about J. Cole, and he even said that in practices, he's working as hard, like you mentioned, as everybody else. J. Cole's taking this very seriously, right? And he wants to contribute to the team. So my thing is that for Fat Joe to make a comment, to me, ask the question, but then don't say, I have a question, but I'm convinced he can't hoop because of Master P. That's a dumb comparison. I'm sorry. It's just absurd.
All right. So 2 parts. So first, just for context, Fat Joe had a team at the Rucker, as we know, Rucker Park, summertime. Of course. He's the most winningest coach in Rucker Park history, apparently.
Keyword coach.
Right.
I said play. I don't care about coaching.
No, hold on. You said, what does he know about basketball? I'm just saying he's
about playing basketball.
Okay,
about
cool.
basketball.
So if Fat Joe sprinted up the court once, the game would be done.
To me, no, because remember, his question is, can he hoop? Right. So my thing is that coaching, yes, a coach's job is to take the players that he has and make them be successful, right? Like, that's not what I'm saying. So to me, coaching doesn't mean that you know what a great hooper or stuff like that. Like I think a coach knows how to take the talent that he has and make that person even push themselves harder to be a better player. On top of that, put people in the right position to be successful as a team, right? So my thing is that I think players can measure hoopers versus coaches. That's just me though. Yeah. That's just me.
Yeah.
Got you. And I want to just say something about Cole real quick. I watched him at the BAL when he played for Rwanda after first. And coming in, I kind of figured, well, you know what? I think it might have been D2. The league in Africa is less than the CEBL. And when I've seen him play there, one thing I could say is there was a lot of eyes were on him to start the BAL. The Basketball Africa League, and he came on the court and he didn't do anything outside of his game, meaning like he knew his role. He didn't come out and say, oh, you know what, I'm J. Cole. Everyone's looking at me, feel the pressure like he needed to, you know, any spectacular dribbles or take shots or whatever. He came in, did his job. I want to watch him here in the CEBL, and I got that same vibe. When he comes on, he's not like he's Jermaine Cole. He's coming in as a basketball player, and you could tell from what I'm seeing, he's not doing anything. He's had a stat line of zeros going across. He played 5 minutes, but at least he's not forcing anything. And I mean,
No
being
ego.
who he is, it would be so easy for J. Cole to force and actually feel like he needs to prove anything. I like the fact that he's coming and he has nothing to prove. Just being there alone and being a good teammate is showing. So shout out to J. Cole, definitely.
Yeah, we had there was a training. So I was at training camp, right? And I was actually practicing with the team at that point in time.
Oh,
and we went to go eat lunch, and J. Cole was watching the practice on his phone. So like when I tell you he was taking it seriously, like he's trying to get better at ball every second. So like we're about to watch film of practice, and he's already watching the practice on his phone. Like he's trying to get better at any point in time. So like I said, like Fat Joe, stop. Just hats off to J. Cole for even living out his dream. If that's not inspiring, I don't really know what is, right? So he could easily demand the ball. He could easily demand to play. He could do whatever. He's J. Cole. He could do whatever the hell he wants to do, but he's not doing that.
Right.
He just came here, wants to be one of the guys, plays when he plays, runs hard. You know what I mean? Tries to play defense.
For me. It's the effort for me.
Humble.
He's doing exactly. That's the right word. He's probably the most humble person ever, man. Like you're one of the best rappers walking the face of the earth, and you come to Canada to play ball in Drake's league, or on Drake's team, basically. Come on, man. Bro, it don't get no better than that.
And what's dope is he's a part of, this is the first year of this league. First year of this team in this league.
Of the team.
He's in Scarborough,
he's
right?
So in that forever.
Right, forever.
In the history of it.
I'm throwing out a little proposal here. So one thing we do know, if we watch the game with J. Cole, is something that's been his trademark. And his trademark, for me, I was saying his trademark is he goes straight. He's in the corner. So I've been calling him Corner Cole.
Yeah.
So
not Corner Cole.
Corner Cole. So you see what the Mavericks did for Dirk on the court, where they had that shadow of the fall away of Dirk on Dallas Mavericks on their court. I think Scarborough Shooting Stars should actually do something in the corner of
Cole,
maybe Cole something
corner.
Cole's corner or Cole's something like that.
There you go.
Cole corner. Oh my God, looking for you doing marketing initiative right now for Scarborough.
Pretty dope.
Stars.
Good idea.
No, but honestly, like again, Fat Joe, I'm not hating on you. I just think that it's like me trying to comment on hip hop, and it like I can say I like the way someone raps, but I can't comment on the style of rap. Like I think people's got to know what they're good at, right? You know what I'm saying? So
stay in your lane.
You know what I mean? So to me, ask the question, but saying you're not convinced, no one got to convince you, Fat Joe. Okay, nobody got to convince you. He's on a team. He's getting paid to play basketball. The coaches believe in him. People have spoken to him on the team have said like he works hard. Okay, he can hoop, and if he couldn't hoop, trust me, Nico, he wouldn't be there. He would not be on the team. Let's believe that.
Definitely. All right. I say we put this episode in the books.
Ooh, that was episode 95.
95.
So, Warren, as you know what I'm saying, we'd like to give our guests a chance to do a special shout out. So the floor is yours.
Oh, well, shout out to you guys for having me. Always showing love, and I hope to keep in contact with you guys and just continue to watch this thing grow until it's no longer the good rookies, but the great rookies. So we'll see where that rookies goes. Yeah, there you go. So shout out to you guys, and then that's really it. Shout out to the Scarborough Shooting Stars, and I look forward to being in front of your TV very soon, everybody. So anyone who's watching, that's pretty much it. So shout out to you.
Definitely.
Manifest that. Well, my shout out is going really quick. My shout out is to Warren. Thank you for being here, for coming on the podcast. We're definitely watching you. We're inspired by you. We're happy for you. I know you will continue to win because you're just determined to do so. So we'll keep supporting, sharing your stuff. Whenever I see, I'll share like your picture and go, congrats. I just think that it's just good to watch other people win, because when you win, we push ourselves as well. And we are going to be doing some stuff, announcing that soon. So, we're excited for you though, for being here. And I know, man, I can't wait to watch him on breakfast television one Friday morning. It's gonna happen.
That'd be love. That would be love.
That'd be great. Faheem.
Nice. My shout out's quick, man. Warren, appreciate you coming out. I just got one thing we just actually mentioned, Fat Joe. This makes me think, is it today's price is not yesterday's price? Or is it yesterday's price not
yesterday's price, not today's price?
There we go. Yesterday's price, not today's price. So that definitely fits the bill when talking about
They know that. They know that.
Yeah.
They know that. It's gone up twofold.
So definitely. So everybody keep an eye out for Warren Ward. Follow him on all platforms, Twitter, IG, and keep your eyes, like you mentioned, keep your eyes glued, because there's a wave of young talent coming up, and he's right up top of that list. So on that note, I think we should put this episode in the books, Nelly J.
Yep, that was episode 95. So y'all, if you had a good time, you enjoyed yourself, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Faheem.
We are on all platforms if you're looking for us. Warren, we appreciate you coming out, man.
Always, man. Thank you
This
guys.
is Good Rookies Podcast, episode 95, and we out.
Peace.